Coming up tonight, police press conference. Top brass of the police force giving a comprehensive update on crime across the country. Plus, continued concern. A former parliamentarian weighs in on what he believes are solutions to revive Grand Bahama's struggling economy. And later, 19 schools participate in the Anthony Huck Williams Jr. Junk New Parade. We've got the sights and sounds from Grand Bahama. These stories and so much more as Our News Weekend starts now. This is Our News Weekend. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. I'm Megan Shepard. Police updating residents on several nationwide initiatives aimed at combating crime during a press conference today. Our Jean Joseph was there and has the details.
Chief Superintendent Kristen Skippings telling the press police operations led to the seizure of 9 firearms and around 1,500 rounds of ammunition this week.
When we talk about 1,500 rounds of assorted ammunition, we've saved 1,500 lives, as it only takes one round to kill or injure someone.
Skipping says police also issued around 1,000 traffic citations across the country. Superintendent Shaquille Riley says Drug Enforcement Unit operations led to 31 drug-related cases and some 100 pounds of drugs, worth an estimated $200,000, being confiscated. Riley says 5 tourists and 3 school students were involved. She adds the largest seizure involves a 35-year-old American resident who was sentenced to 30 months in prison after authorities found 75 pounds of hydroponic marijuana among his belongings at the Lyndon Pindling International Airport. The Urban Renewal Program was also highlighted as that team seeks to reach out to residents and attract young people. This conference comes on the heels of the recent release of a U.S. Embassy Level 4 travel advisory issued to American residents visiting the country. Skipping says the Royal Bahamas Police Force will continue these efforts to battle crime and drugs.
The upcoming week, you will see the same energy in all aspects of our duties, from the Criminal Investigations Department, to the Drug Enforcement Unit, to traffic, to firearms. We will continue to press on in an effort to rid this country of the illegal drugs and weapons and those persons who seem to want to create havoc.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Jean Joseph.
Meantime, Northern Division Commander, Assistant Commissioner of Police Shanta Knowles has confirmed there are dangerous drugs on the streets in Grand Bahama, as the presence of fentanyl was found in the system of a young man recently. This as a town hall meeting on the presence of dangerous drugs in our community was held in Grand Bahama this past week at the Pro Cathedral of Christ the King.
We are presently investigating that matter. We are talking to people who were in his presence for a period of time and hoping that they can give us information that can lead to persons who would have given him pills to take, which got into his system.
She says the police department will continue their education campaign, as she says they are unaware of where the drugs are coming from.
But we are searching all avenues so that we can identify those who are in possession of it. We have been searching persons around nightclubs, we have been searching homes, and hopefully we will get some information from the public that can lead us to find those responsible.
Meantime, emergency medical service workers here in the capital receiving 40 ballistic vests. The handover was made on Friday at the National Emergency Medical Services headquarters. The presentation was made by Dr. Hezedine Smith, who is the fire chief in Polk County, Florida, and CEO of Global Emergency Services Consultant Group. He says the donations will assist first responders in hostile situations.
This marks a significant step in terms of EMS responders in the Bahamas, in terms of their preparedness and readiness to serve, and be at the tip of the spear, essentially, in working with law enforcement and the fire rescue members to ensure that timely response and interventions that occur within a active shooter type incident, or should I say a hostile event response.
The Level 3 vests are metal-plated and able to withstand blunt forces. It's also equipped with life-saving tools. Deputy Director of the National Emergency Management Services, Kevin Bell, says the donation is a timely one.
We do respond to a lot of emergencies, namely gunshot incidents, and there's always the potential for that scene to become a hot zone for our staff. And so now that they have the necessary gear, should something like that happen, they would be more protective.
Grand Bahama's economy continues to be a concern for many. Some question, when will the economic situation change on that northern island? Well, tonight a former parliamentarian is chiming in and sharing some solutions. Here's Italia Hall.
It pains me on what is going on in Grand Bahama. I remember when the government formed the Bahamas Development Corporation back in 1974. We used to work in tandem with the Port Authority, especially Mr. Everton George. God bless him.
And that's former Member of Parliament for Tall Pines, Leslie Miller, weighing in on Grand Bahama's current economic situation. He says the nation's second city has the most potential for economic development.
We are the closest to the eastern seaboard of the United States. That's what Mr. Wallace had in mind when he came and formed this entity called the Grand Bahama Port Authority. I think the government need to work hand in hand with the Port Authority, with those who are responsible for it, and have a harmonious relationship.
And that relationship, he believes, will take Grand Bahama back to its glory days.
And I think with everybody working in tandem with each other and working for one common goal, it's achievable, because all the infrastructure that is necessary for success lies here in Grand Bahama, more than any other island in our Commonwealth. Grand Bahama has to come back to where it needs to be.
And he says the back and forth in the press between government and the Grand Bahama Port Authority is not worthwhile.
So it's something that is so important that affects the lives of the average ordinary Bahamian. I just think the Prime Minister has an opportunity to put the right team together, experienced people who would have had that expertise in nation building and trying to get industries off the ground. If you go with the same old crew, you can get the same old results, eh? Try to make a difference and think about the people, the bigger picture, and not the few.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Italia Hall.
Thanks, Italia. $200,000 has been set aside by the Bahama Foundation for pedestrian crosswalks at schools across New Providence and Grand Bahama. The initiative will enhance road safety for the thousands of students heading to school every day. Berthany McDermott reports.
The Bahama Resort Foundation donating $200,000 towards the Calvin Morley Safe School Zone initiative. The initiative is aimed at creating safer environments for the thousands of students that cross the streets to and from school each day. Education Minister Glennis Hannah Martin says
this brings enhanced awareness for the sacred nature or safety guarantee of these various school zones.
The initiative was named after 13-year-old Calvin Morley, who was tragically killed in December 2012 while attempting to cross the street. His aunt, Charmaine Morley, says the family is grateful and is still dealing with the pain of the loss. She had this to say to motorists.
Let's put away these cell phones while we're on the road. If you don't have an earpiece in your ears, please put the cell phone down or pull to the side, because the cell phone really distracts, and should have cut of water, it's too late when we've especially taken a life. So I just want to say thank you to all for being a part of this initiative. And the Morley family, again, we thank you and appreciate it.
Bahama Senior Vice President Sandy Sands was also on hand for the initiative.
Our foundation is based on 3 pillars: culture, community, and conservation. And today we're ensuring that the pillar of community is being maximized.
Schools included in the initiative are Martintown Primary School, Yellow Elder Primary School, Columbus Primary, E.P. Roberts Primary, Stephen Dillard Primary, and Woodcock Primary School.
The initiative will see the installation of electronic pedestrian crosses that will feature a rapid flashing beacon system with push-button activation. The LED beacon system is part of the Solar Traffic Safety Series and will be used to alert drivers of upcoming pedestrian crosswalk.
I take this opportunity to encourage all motorists to recognize the speed limit of school zones and to be respectful and to be courteous to students as they utilize pedestrian crossings. Thank you.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Berthany McDermott.
Excellent initiative. Thanks, Berthany. Well, lots more to get to tonight, but first, the meteorologist Ian McKinsey joins us now from the Weather Center with your first look at weather. Ian.
Thanks, Megan, and good evening, Bahamas. Here's a look now at your Sunday evening forecast. Currently outside our studios, we're under mostly clear skies with a temperature of 77. Our winds are from the south-southwest at 12 miles per hour with a feels-like temperature of 71. Current temperatures across the country at this time in our nation's second city, Freeport, we have 76. 76 also in Allenstown, Bimini, and in Governor's Harbor, Eleuthera. 74 in Marsh Harbor under some marine cool temperatures. Great Harbor Key, 77, the capital, and in Nicholstown, 77. For the central Bahamas, we have 76 in Camps Bay, 79 in Georgetown, a pair of 77s in Deadman's Key, and in Coburn Town, San Salvador, 78 in Arthurstown, Kid Island. For the southeast Bahamas, we have a trio of 78s in Duncantown, Delectable Bay, and in Colonel Hill, Crooked Island, with a trio of 77s in Abrahams Bay, Providenciales, and Matthewtown in Agua. Here's a look now at our satellite and radar imagery, where we have few clouds moving across the extreme northwest Bahamas, as well as a line of some light to moderate showers, and this is all courtesy of a frontal boundary that should be pushing through our area tonight and through early tomorrow. Stick around for extended forecast. That's still to come.
Still to come on Our News Weekend, we have a full recap of Grand Bahamas Junior Junkanoo Parade. You don't want to miss the little darlings. Plus, the country could soon see Junkanoo as a part of the school curriculum. The education minister weighs in. That's coming up when Our News Weekend returns.
Are you or a loved one under medical care? Do you need affordable medical supplies? Ports International is the largest home healthcare supplier. Medical supplies at the very best price, and you can even shop online. From hospital beds to wound care, wheelchairs to walkers, Ports is a one-stop shop for your medical supplies, and we accept insurance. We have online shopping and 2 locations to serve you, at the Airport Industrial Park and Shirley Street. We also ship to the Family Islands. Shop online and visit us on Facebook. Call Ports at 377-1771.
Hundreds of Grand Bahamians and lovers of culture packing the bleachers on Pioneer's Way last night as 19 schools put on a spectacular show for the Anthony Huck Williams Junior Junkanoo Parade. Our News was there for it all, and we have the full recap just in case you missed it. Let's take a look.
Grand Bahama has been on top of the mountain as far as Junior Junkanoo is concerned, from preschool, primary school, junior high, and senior high school. The country is out for a treat tonight. Enjoy it.
From the adorable preschoolers to the energetic high schoolers, 19 schools across Grand Bahama brought Pioneer's Way alive for the Anthony Huck Williams Junior Junkanoo Parade. Spectacular costuming, in-sync choreographed routines, and rhythmic music, all on display by the various schools. Acting Director of Culture Fast Eddie Dame says he's sure the judges will have a tough time deciding a winner.
I look at all the choreographed sections, all of the backline music, all of the lead costumes, the off-the-shoulder costumes, etc. And I believe that effort has gone into all of them, and so the judges have got a difficult time here.
Member of Parliament for East Grand Bahama, Kwesi Thompson, also taking in the sights and sounds of the parade. Meantime, Minister for Education, Glenys Hannah Martin, impressed with the level of talent on display.
I think they're doing an excellent job, so we just sitting back enjoying them.
Same kind of musical excellence, creative, energy. And yes, what we saw in Nassau, we're seeing here in Grand Bahama.
These spectators also enjoying the display of culture by the next generation of Junkanooers.
Having a wonderful time. This is fantastic. All the groups are awesome.
Fantastic. Everybody should be out here and experience this wonderful experience. So Junkanoo is amazing. We need to support this and these young people because it's the next future. It's having a great time.
It's amazing. I love the little kids are amazing. And they're great.
Well, the 2024 Junior Junkanoo Parade's attracting scores of spectators as little Junkanooers showed up and showed out. Among those watching was Education Minister Glenys Hannah Martin. She revealed Junkanoo will not be confined to Bay Street. It will also be heading to classrooms across the country.
We have made a determination that we are going to incorporate Junkanoo into the curriculum. It follows on the heel of the UNESCO hearing, where we submitted that Junkanoo is an intangible cultural world heritage. They agreed, and this is raising up Junkanoo to the world. And we now have to ensure that our children and young people understand the mechanics of it, the dynamics of it, the music, the craft, the history, because this goes back to Africa.
A local technical institute in Grand Bahama lending a helping hand to help develop an international trade school. The school is said to be constructed in New Providence this year. Former parliamentarian Leslie Miller says an international trade school is essential as vocational training can go a long way. Ruthnell Technical Institute Chairman Pleasant Bridgewater says more government support is needed for technical programs across the country.
We've seen young people who would have been involved in crime and criminal activities. You've seen them now become respectable citizens who are now plumbers, who are now electricians, who are barbers, and who are working in the hotel industry, and also with some of the industries like the container port.
Miller adds that programs like these can assist with crime fighting efforts.
I'm tired of seeing the young men and women, especially the young men, committing murders every day. That's a family that's going to be in mourning for the rest of their life. I can tell you from my own experience, it has to stop. The carnage must stop. And I think one way to try to assist our people, and the government of Bahamas got to head this program, is to implement these programs and to take them off the street and give them a useful life to make a contribution to the development of our country. Because whether we like it or not, they are our future. And we must take care of the future now to enable our future to grow and flourish.
When Our News Weekend comes back from the break, one of the Royal Bahamas Defense Force's top-ranking females shares some advice for women looking to make their mark in a male-dominated field. Plus, Coach Yo with a call to action. Our Tage Adderley fills us in when Our News Weekend returns.
Doctors Hospital is reimagined primary care. We have invested to improve our health system, ensuring that accessible, affordable, world-class clinical care is closer to you. Your relationship with a primary care provider shapes the foundation of your overall health. Our new, modern primary care facilities are where critical diagnosis and true personalized treatment begin. With locations across New Providence, Grand Bahama, and Exuma, we invite you to experience the Doctors Hospital difference. Book your next appointment at clinics.doctorshos.com.
Welcome back. Yesterday, we shared with you the fact that 2 women on the Royal Bahamas Defense Force have, for the first time in the organization's history, risen to the rank of captain. Tonight, newly promoted Captain Sonia Miller shares her journey through the ranks. Joining the force back in 1996, Miller received her training at the Britannia Royal Naval College. She says since then, her career has been a pretty exciting one.
I started out as the captain of Coral Harbor secretary. Actually, that's more administrative work. And then I transitioned into our operations center. And I think that was where some of the greatest highlights of my career began.
Captain Miller has served in many roles, including as a public relations officer and other duties.
Events planning officer, the Rangers director, the Veterans Affairs officer, and from there I moved into disaster management.
She also serves as the coordinator for the recently launched National Youth Guard program. However, she admits that disaster management has become her passion in the force.
I would say our response to Hurricane Dorian was one of the greatest highlights of my career. I now have an appreciation, a real appreciation as to what it takes to manage and coordinate activities, I would say a holistic response to disaster management.
As she continues to break barriers within the organization, she shares what it was like to achieve the highest rank to be held by a woman on the Defense Force.
I am elated, extremely grateful, and I do not take me being elevated to this rank for granted. I think that as a female, we bring a lot to the table. We add diversity. We have the great interpersonal skills. we can contribute significantly to strong leadership and decision-making within the Royal Bahamas Defense Force.
And to other women considering a career in the field, Captain Miller says the sky is the limit.
Don't ever limit yourself or your ability. You'll be surprised that when you get behind those gates and you take one day at a time and you have confidence in yourself, you'll be surprised to know what you can achieve.
And now to another woman breaking glass ceilings. Coach Yolette McPhee-McEwen led her University of Mississippi women's basketball team to one of their best seasons last year, making it to the Sweet 16 round of the NCAA tournament. She thinks her team deserves more fanfare in their home arena. Our Tage Adderley has more.
What I'm trying to get the Oxford community to do is to catch up, because the rest of the world has caught up on the fact that women's sports is legit and it's real. And so I'm not going to allow people to make it seem like what we do doesn't matter. I'm not going to allow people to make it seem like I haven't earned everything that I've gotten. I'm not going to make it seem like our women are less than.
That's Coach O speaking in a post-game press conference on the lack of support her team had on Thursday's win over the University of Florida. The listed attendance for the game was 2,450, while 7,000 people showed up when they went to their in-state rival Mississippi State, and 9,000 people showed up when LSU came to town. According to the Grand Bahama native, that's not good enough.
It should have been packed in here. How does a team that goes to the Sweet 16, that only has 2 losses, not have an average of 5,000 people in the stands? How? You know what it is? It's the lack of value, and it needs to change. And I don't care who's upset about me saying this, because I'm going to speak the truth.
During her 6 years in the SIP, Coach McPhee-McEwen has turned the team from an SEC basement dweller with 9 wins to one of the best teams in the league with a deep run in the tournament last year. She doesn't feel the love, though. They played earlier this afternoon against the University of Tennessee. We'll see if that changes. For Our Sports, I'm Tage Adderley.
On the other side of this break, a Bahamian music sensation preparing to take her talents to the international stage. Stick with us for the details.
Are you or a loved one under medical care? Do you need affordable medical supplies? Ports International is the largest home healthcare supplier. Medical supplies at the very best price, and you can even shop online. From hospital beds to wound care, wheelchairs to walkers, Ports is a one-stop shop for your medical supplies, and we accept insurance. We have online shopping and 2 locations to serve you, at the Airport Industrial Park and Shirley Street. We also ship to the Family Islands. Shop online and visit us on Facebook. Call Ports at 377-1771.
Thanks for sticking with us. Meteorologist Ian McKenzie is back with your extended weather forecast.
Thanks, Megan. Welcome back, everyone. Here's a look now at your extended forecast, where high pressure was the once dominant weather feature. This high pressure will continue to slide eastwards as this cold front continues to push through the northwest Bahamas and makes its way into central Bahamas on Monday. Boating forecasts across the country in the northwest Bahamas. Winds will be west-southwest to west-northwest, 15 to 25 north seas, 5 to 8 feet in light easterly swells. High tide at 9:43 p.m. tonight, low tide at 3:47 a.m. tomorrow morning. For the central and southeast Bahamas, we're asking you boaters to exercise caution. Winds will be southerly at 10 to 15, seas 2 to 4, slightly higher in offshore swells. Here's a look now at your national forecast. And in your extended forecast, for all the older folks who seem to not like the cool weather, well, this week is not going to be a good one for you guys. But all the folks that do love the cool weather, enjoy these temperatures. Tomorrow, as the front goes through, we have windy conditions, highs getting into the low 70s, your lows dipping down into the low 60s, and even possibly the upper 50s. That's a wrap on your evening forecast. Make it a great, safe, fun night, everyone.
A Bahamian music artist is set to take the international stage. Music sensation It's Dia is taking her talents to the main stage as she prepares to perform in a major music festival in Miami. It's Dia has been making music for over 6 years. She tells us about her exciting news.
I will be performing for the first time in the United States, which is exciting, on one of the biggest stages that I have performed on, the Trina Rockstar Music Fest. That's happening on February 3rd. So if you're a Bahamian, make sure pull up. It's going to be lit. The headliners are crazy, so I'm excited.
The event will showcase talent from all over America and the Caribbean. As for what you can expect, she describes it as something spectators won't forget anytime soon.
It could be a show. We bringing out our dancers from the Bahamas. We are bringing out the whole team. We bringing out the hype girl. We could be outside. It's definitely going to be a lit performance. I think it's going to be exciting. I think it's definitely going to be something the United States isn't going to forget coming from the Bahamas.
Thank you so much for joining us for Our News Weekend. On behalf of the entire team, particularly us here on the weekend, we want to wish our meteorologist extraordinaire, Ian McKenzie, a very special happy birthday. Continue to enjoy. And to our viewers, thank you for joining us. Enjoy the rest of your evening.